Well, fellas. We're back. Welcome back to Collectible Stonks. If you are new to the channel and you like seeing financial side of collectibles, as well as just some regular TCG news, TCG conspiracy theories now, apparently, and anything else in between, consider subscribing to the channel. If you like videos like this where we just kind of ramble and discuss stuff, considering that like button, that tells me you guys like the content, therefore I create more of said content. But as you can probably see from the screen, boy, are we going to talk again about Ruudi Gemkeeper. So by now, you guys are aware, hey, there's a game. Shout out to Bronson, fellow YouTube creator, who actually kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit. He didn't get the game correctly, but according to Ruudi, he hit it very, very close to where he actually gave us a little bit more hints as to what type of game this is. So I started looking more into the card, Ruudi Gemkeeper, right? And obviously the first thing you notice from this card, besides Ruudi in his beautiful underwear and him holding what looks to be a gem, right? Kind of looks like a Arcanite shard, but whatever. Just a little bit different. Anyways, that's not the point. Point is, you notice the name Ruudi, right? It's not R-U-D-Y, which is how you spell his name. It's Ruudi, R-U-U-D-I. So I started Googling Ruudi on Google just to see if the card would pop up, right? But even though it did, something else also popped up. That being this 2006 film, Estonian film. Same thing, Ruudi, back in 2006. And the movie is basically about a 7-year-old boy who's a devoted Viking fan, right? Now that's interesting because if we look at the next gem, right? The first thing that actually popped in my head when I saw this was that doesn't really look like a gem. It looks more like a shield, right? Now, of course, we have Oldhim, which he himself, Oldhim, is one of the Olin, right? Which, if we read the back here, says, "We are the Olin, the last line of defense against the rotten vermin that infests our world. They are endless, we are few, but in the face of certain death, we stand resolute. Our story may be lost or hidden in legends and fables, and throughout this wretched age, we suffer as we await our fate. But we believe, or perhaps we hope and pray, that our grandeur will prevail till the age of man." So very interesting, right? And as part of the lore, right, when you look at Oldhim, right, he actually is a mighty shield bearer of the Olin, powerful defenders that stood alongside the ancients against the old ones since the dawn of time. It's really interesting that, of course, you look at Oldhim and even the name, and right off the bat you can tell, like, hey, this dude looks like a dang Viking. Right? He looks like a dang Viking. Like, it's like right there on the nose. So I just found it kind of interesting how the name Ruudi Gemkeeper also had the title of a random Estonian film, which happens to be about a boy who likes Vikings. Now, I may be reaching quite a bit here, but it's just kind of weird. Like, it's just one of those weird coincidences that may not be a coincidence at all. I mean, I don't know. But it's the fact that this is like, it's just Viking. Like, the kid likes Vikings. Oldhim is essentially a Viking. And this here looks like a Viking shield. So obviously the next set is at this point confirmed to be kind of like old school Vikings. Shield bearers, axe wielding Vikings. Maybe like what was that Magic the Gathering set that came out? I believe it was last year. I forgot the name of the set, but it had a lot of Viking stuff. The set didn't do too well. I do remember that. But it's basically now confirmed that the next major set, because I'm assuming there will be a third supplementary set, kind of like Crucible, before we see this set, but it's essentially confirmed that the next set will take place, or will cover the Olin lore, right? So we're going to see a lot of Vikings. I expect a lot of Viking lore, a lot of Viking-esque cards. Oldhim being, a shield bearer, right? He actually gets a second, I believe it's an offhand shield, like the rampart of the ram's head or something like that. So, yeah, just kind of weird. Just something really weird that I noticed with the name and the fact that it's Viking related. And then, so if that was how they came up with the name Ruudi, like, that's what's up. Like, that's actually pretty dang cool because, like, it's just one of those really cool, weird coincidences about the future of the game and what's to come next. And of course, if you haven't seen the lore on the website, it actually goes into depth of like what Ice Unloft is. This is essentially where the Olin and apparently the Ancients are currently trapped in there because of the ice. So based on what the actual gem card says here, and like Bronson pointed out, it could be zombies, right? A Vikings and zombies set would be kind of cool. Not gonna lie, it sounds really dang interesting. But yeah, just figured out I just want to talk about that weird little coincidence I found online. And of course, as everybody else has been talking about regarding Ruudi's game, the game is interesting, right? So I kind of messed up. So I actually got four of those packs coming. And the reason I got 4 of those $1,000 kits is because I messed up. So I accidentally used a different form of payment that I did not want to use. I then messaged Ruudi saying, hey, I apologize, I messed up, I want to cancel this transaction. And of course, I put in another transaction with the correct payment source. So what ended up happening, of course, due to the sheer amount of volume, Ruudi wasn't able to get back to me until after the fact, and by then I had both orders ship, and so Ruudi basically said, hey, no hurt feelings, just be more mindful and careful about the payment source that you use next time. So I have 4 kits coming. I'm down 4 G's. So we out here, fellas. But yeah, so I got 4 of these kits coming, 4 of the Ruudi Gem Keeper kits with all the really nice art cards and all that stuff. So I got 4 of them. And if you've been online after the whole Bronson video came out, and he did a great job on that video, shout out to him. And then especially Ruudi, after he mentioned like, hey, like this dude basically is onto something. Ruudi gave us another little hint saying, hey, all I can say is that the patrons who purchased this card will forever be in a list that cannot be modified so long as they are patrons. So that essentially made everybody start thinking about what that could mean, and essentially people would basically start saying like, oh, this is going to be like Ruudi's reserve list, or it could also be like another Patreon tier, which that would be really interesting if all these people that bought the $1,000 kits, and he has the list of the patrons who did, then maybe because those patrons got those kits, we will have, I guess, exclusive sales that only the Gem Keeper tier can have access to, right? There's been other theories thrown around that Ruudi's going to, essentially buy all the cards back, and I really don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that the new Patreon tier is actually a good theory. That would make sense. Maybe he's trying to cut down on the amount of people that get to buy certain product. I mean, I doubt it. I don't know. But the fact that he said, hey, you guys will be in a list that's it. Like, you guys are on a permanent list that cannot be changed or modified. And so even if somebody were to buy the card, it doesn't matter. So if you were to sell your cards, if you were to sell your kit and you flip them or whatever, you're still part of that Patreon tier, right? How he's going to go about it, I don't know. It's very interesting. This is assuming he does a Patreon gem keeper tier or something along those lines. But whether people flipped them or whether people held them, I guess we'll find out. There's been other little conspiracy tinfoil hat theories saying that, Ruudi may actually, ask you for a trade. Like you trade your Ruudi kit for some other type of product that's going to be really, really hard to say no to. Which means the people that bought 2 will essentially have the upper hand on that point. People that bought 2 of the card, 2 of the kits. But I don't know, man. Very interesting stuff. Very, very cool game. I guess we shall see how it goes. The whole secret layer thing that Bronson came up with was pretty dang interesting. I never even thought about it. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That was really dang cool. And so, yeah, like that. I guess that's where we're at right now with Ruudi Gem Keeper and the kits. And the kits actually started arriving to some people already. eBay's last sold listings, I believe they were selling for about $1,500. I believe is the last one that I saw sold. Let me see. Let's do LSS promo 001. We'll do sold, 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 and completed. Yeah, so one of them sold for, I'm assuming probably $1,400, $1,500 here. Yeah, so it looks like the going rate right now is about $1,500, which is pretty cool. So I really don't expect it to stay that long. So, or for it to stay like that, especially Ruudi's going to have his own tier or anything special planned for this kit in particular, or, you know, things like that. But essentially, if you bought the kit for $1,000, now you're a part of a special tier, or a special list, I should say, not tier. You're part of a special list. What that list will be, what type of perks those people on the list get, we have yet to see. Seems like, you know, if you're on the list for Ruudi's Patreon, it sounds like you're going to be part of a different Patreon tier. We'll see. Maybe we get a different specialty product from Legend Story Studios that won't be available to other people. We shall see. But it's just very cool. It's actually been really, really fun. Like, rest in peace to my pocket. You know, 4G's down the freaking, not really down the drain, but just $4,000 gone. But whatever. I got 4 kits. I'll hold them. I may sell a couple of kits. Probably, I mean, if I sell a couple of kits, it'll probably recoup most of the money for the entire set, and I'd still get 2. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, you know, I just wanted to share that little weird Ruudi title thing, and, you know, kind of pairing it up with the new gem and Oldham. You know, figured that was a little interesting find. But yeah, that's basically it, y'all. Thanks again for checking it out. Thanks for hearing me ramble. Let me know what you guys think. You know, Vikings and zombies. Sounds like that's the next set to be. So talk to y'all later. Thanks.